What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I am the Crypto Crow. It is currently 12:49 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am live. I'm live after a rough night watching the election hoopla that's going on, and I've got to say I'm genuinely concerned. I don't think there's ever been an election where I have watched it kind of unfold and think to myself, the media dictated this election, because I actually kind of think it's over. I could be wrong, but you know, the one thing that I've realized throughout this election is just how much major news media and now even social media have joined the tyrannical control of this country. I mean, like, beyond reproach. Every time anybody, so much stuff has been suppressed and censored and subdued, and I think we've lost our freedom of speech, man. I mean, we really have. We've lost our freedom of speech to a large degree. I believe that, quite frankly, so much of what's going on right now is I'm ready to go. I honestly, I don't know what to say other than, I'm just tired of feeling like one of the controlled sheeple in this country. And why are elections not handled on the blockchain already? When's Cardano going to launch Voltaire and start instituting, countrywide elections in other places so that we can prove the use case and start getting it done? Why is it that in the year 2020 we still have so much doubt in our political system in terms of our voting policies? And why are we changing the system every electoral season, but nothing actually seems to change much? I don't know. I feel like everything is fake. I truly believe, have you ever watched like an old science fiction movie about the future? And just think to yourself, wow, that looks like a scary time. Like, I hope, everything is tyrannical. Everything is controlled. There's no such thing as freedom of speech anymore. There's just no freedom in general. And anybody that steps out of line is beaten and caged. I mean, we're seeing so much of this stuff happening right now. And it's like the fiction of the past is becoming the reality of today, and it's really truly getting scary. And it almost seems surreal to me. And a lot of this stuff really does kind of seem just not real. So, anyway, there's a lot of stuff to discuss today. I'm going to show you guys. I've almost made 14 grand on Turnio's Blockcard. It's actually the GDP Blockcard, and I'm going to show you those numbers. I'm just going to show you directly from my account, because it's growing pretty quickly, and there's a lot of stuff going on I'm going to show you. And I've got a proposition that I want to make between two companies, and I really want to see some love happen here soon. So we'll see. But first thing I want to touch on is Bitcoin, because what's up, Hal? Looking good. Well, thank you. I look a little flushed because these lights are so bright and I still don't know what I'm doing. So I look like a vampire, I think, in this light anyway. So anyway, looking at Bitcoin, we've gone up 7.37% just since yesterday. So we've had a 7% increase, and it hasn't been like a straight up spike. This has been, a fairly volatile increase in the price in basically just a day. At a low yesterday of 13,284, and we wicked at a high of 14,278, and we're hanging steady around 14,173. So that's actually pretty good. Now, I've also been working on I've been doing my Bybit, Prime XBT stuff, and I'm not in an active trade at the moment. Now, remember, this is a demo account because I am in the US. I'm going to turn this fan on. Oh, it's so hot. As soon as I crank these lights on, I start burning up. But anyway, I'm not in a trade because with the election and everything else going on, I haven't been actively doing this. But if you see my trading history, I've been legitimately using Market Cipher and just kind of like my general market knowledge. Honest to God, don't know what happened here. I actually have a small loss. So I answered some questions, or I asked a question in a video, and I said, what do you guys want to see me trade with? And a lot of people wanted it on the low end. So I've basically only been trading with 0.1 Bitcoin every trade. And, you know, it's up. I mean, every trade was positive except for this one. And I really, truly do not know what this was. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I screwed up a stop loss. I don't really know. I honestly, I just don't have any idea. But I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got four trades in the positive that were going really well. And I shot videos. Like I was calling everything. I was referencing Market Cipher, and I was calling everything. Like, this is probably going to happen here. This is the action I'm taking. We'll see how it turns out. And then I would update the video, like what I explained, what I thought was going to happen. It happened like every time on all those trades. And I'm thinking about compiling them into a video, but I just like, I don't know if I'm asking you guys, do you want to see that? I mean, do you care much? What should it be, its own video maybe? Or because it was like 20 minutes total of me trading and explaining what I'm doing and why, and then updating with the results of what was happening. And I did a hell of a job, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't want to like put it out there as a single video. Or would you rather see cliff notes in another video? Help me out, let me know what you guys would like to see, because I really do love Market Cipher. And you know, the Prime XBT platform's actually been pretty cool. I actually kind of like it. I don't necessarily like the way the margin works. It's a lot easier to be able to just select like 1x, 5x, 10x if I wanted to go that route. Prime XBT works completely differently, but it's not too bad. I mean, it's easy to trade on, I will say that. And you know, look, I mean, that's my trading history. So, you know, I've been messing around, but when I don't have time to consistently check it frequently, I'm not actively in a trade. So, also for those of you so chainwise.us used to be my big educational platform where it was like $5 a month, and you know, I had all these videos, and so a lot of these are exclusive videos. Some of them are from my YouTube, but the majority of these are exclusive videos specifically for like my educational course. And I plan on adding more on a regular basis, but I'm not going to put in the time adding it until I start getting people joining. So what I'm going to do is, there are like a handful of people that join Chainwise. Now, chainwise.us automatically redirects to my Subscribe Star account. And this is where I want to start building like my casual YouTube community. And so as people start joining that, I'm going to be doing more and more things that are going to be a little more interesting. I actually want to start. So I am working on something that's so big right now, it's going to truly blow the minds of the cryptoverse. and I'm not kidding at all. It really is going to be big. And what it ultimately is going to be is a way, and I already have a bunch of sponsors already on board, and I haven't even announced it. I haven't said anything. I just contacted like 10 people that I like, that I've done business with in the past, or that I work with, or I have a relationship with. I pitched them my idea. Every one of them was like, I want in. This is going to be huge. Basically, what it's going to be is I'm compiling. I don't even know. I don't know if I should even get into it yet. I guess I can say briefly kind of a little bit about what it is. Basically, you're going to be able to win a lot of Bitcoin for just being smart. So, there's a lot of history, right? There's a lot of interesting stuff, conspiracy stuff, fun, exciting stories, things that have happened in the past. And basically, I'm going to be taking kind of a Dan Brown approach to the history of 32 different countries. And in that will be a series of puzzles and ciphers that, when solved, in each country, you'll receive 2 digits to a Bitcoin private key. If you solve all of the ciphers and puzzles within each of the 32 locations, you'll basically have everything necessary to unlock a wallet with a growing amount of Bitcoin in it. And when I say growing, I mean sponsorships will continue to come in as the challenge is going. If it takes 2 months, if it takes 6 months, if it takes a year, the pot is going to be consistently growing as new sponsors come on board. I have a system for that. And it's going to be such that I guarantee communities will have to work together to solve some of this stuff. I am personally creating ciphers of my own that will have to be studied and researched in order to decipher them. And it's a huge undertaking, but it's something that I've been focusing on during the election stuff, during the COVID stuff. And it's something that I started a while back because COVID, I mean, really. And I thought, well, if I can give everybody something that enables you to think positively and work together, like, communities are going to be needed. Specialists in a variety of different fields are going to be needed to decipher and solve some of these problems. And people are going to have to work together, but only one person ultimately will unlock the private key to the wallet. So I'm working on that, and I'm generating more sponsorship interest. I've been building a website for it. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but I really think that this is going to be big. I think it's going to be big, and I think it's going to be even bigger news. So I'm really excited about it. I'm definitely working hard about it. I'm working hard on it, but just know it's not going to be easy. Like, people are going to be complaining that it's hard, but it's going to be hard for a reason. But everything will be solvable. So that's coming. Blockcard. So as you can see here, I did one video. I don't even remember how long ago it's been. It's been a while, maybe a couple months, I think. And there's a link in the description of this video. Now, I've known Ian and Dan with Turnio for basically all through the bear market, and I've talked about them. They to date have never given me a dime, okay? They have never paid me anything. I just genuinely like these two guys. And you know, they came and they spoke at my Chainwise convention where I was trying to educate people on crypto, and they're just really good dudes. I mean, I don't even know any other way of putting it. They're very intelligent, they're very hardworking, and they're very committed to their business. And I used to look at them as kind of this like underdog, duo with a lot of integrity and a lot of passion for the space and so on. And they're slowly morphing into this kind of powerhouse that I don't even think people are realizing what they're becoming. Okay. And they've got some big stuff coming over the next few months. Like a few months from now, there's some big stuff happening with them. And I've been promoting like the Blockcard. Now I haven't done my actual Blockcard yet. I'm just basically holding. I mean, and I'm letting it grow. But any of you can go out there, click the link in my description, get your referral link, set up your account, and start sharing it. And basically, so I had somebody comment to me or make a comment in the official Turnio thing, like, I don't like how he links to GDP's Blockcard account, but he's promoting the actual Blockcard or whatever, basically saying that like they want me to just promote Blockcard. Well, Blockcard itself, Turnio's direct Blockcard, doesn't have this referral program that empowers just about anybody to set up an account, share links, and generate passive income. Okay, I know Ian and Dan pretty well, and this is what they wanted me to do. They're like, look, if you want to generate passive income, you can do that with the GDP systems. You have our complete blessing. You don't have to promote the actual Blockcard because we don't have that. Now, that being said, it's going pretty well. It's going pretty well. Now, if you look at the price of Turnio, it's still around where it's always been. I mean, it basically hovers between 0.006 cents and 0.009 cents. It goes up and down, up and down. I've done videos on it. I've explained to people, look, if you're going to deposit Bitcoin to spend for any reason, I don't, like, all the Turnio I have is Turnio I've generated from my referral program. That's it. I haven't bought into anything. I don't invest in it. I don't accumulate it with Bitcoin or any of that. I just don't, right? And I told them that. Like, I'm like, I don't buy Turnio yet. But I'm happy to hold what I generate through the referral program because it's passive and I'm still accumulating value over time. Now, here's the thing. I'm also a big fan of Celsius Network, and I'm a big fan of Alex Mashinsky. And when I look at guys like Alex Mashinsky, so before I even get into this, so the idea is, I know some of what these guys have planned and what they're open to. Let's just say that. They're open to ideas to expand and to grow. And Turnio is ultimately the technology partner for all these different companies like GDP, the tech partner, Litecoin, all these companies that are signing on to issue their own Blockcard service, their own Visa debit card service, enabling people to spend their crypto anywhere Visa's accepted, which is a huge deal. But now, if you've seen other updates, Turnio is now pretty much in charge of onboarding these crypto companies. So Turnio has went from being a small tech company in blockchain, issuing their Blockcard and saying, hey, you can spend your Bitcoin anywhere that accepts Visa. They went from that route, and then they've grown this into a number. I mean, there's a new recent one, Paxful to roll out crypto debit card for U.S. customers. This is through Turnio, folks. This is a pretty big deal. This is utilizing the Blockcard platform. Now, the Visa card enables users to convert cryptocurrencies to U.S. dollars at a time of purchase that comes via partnership with cryptocurrency fintech platform Blockcard. Okay, so Turnio is ultimately the underlying technology layer, enabling a lot of these crypto companies to empower their users, their communities, to spend their crypto anywhere you can use a Visa debit card. So this is really big stuff. Now, the thing of it is, this is just one of many companies that have come on board already, and there are going to be many more in the future. This is one of the reasons why I support Turnio. It's not because I hold them, because I have a big giant bag that I want to see go up in value. I've done many videos. The value has been pretty much around the same. It doesn't move very often. And when it does, it's a very tiny window. But I also believe long term, this is going to change. And I think at some point it's going to change pretty drastically. And there are some things that I personally would like to see being utilized on the Turnio, with Turnio. Number one, I would like to see the total value, the total circulating supply of Turnio be broken up among various blockchains, rather than the majority of it being on Stellar, which, look, I like Stellar. Stellar's great. And sometimes, the technology doesn't necessarily mean, better use case and adoption, right? It's about popularity of the blockchain ultimately. So I asked them recently, I said, why don't you do something on Cardano when it's ready? They're open to that. And they're ultimately open to a lot of my ideas. And no, I'm not even an advisor. I'm like nothing. I'm just a friend of these guys. That's it. And they bounce ideas off of me, and I shoot them ideas and things like that. I really have no real vested interest outside of my referral program. If that were to ever change, I would, of course, let you guys know. But ultimately, I want to see some of this. I want to see some of the circulating supply divided amongst all other blockchains, okay? Number two, what primarily would I love to see associated with Turnio and my Blockcard? I want to see Celsius Network. Now, a long time ago, I made the connection between Alex Mashinsky and Turnio because I like to try and connect companies where I understand their business model, their use case. I genuinely like the individuals running the company, what their missions are. And I feel that Alex Mashinsky, who I consider somebody of integrity for one, but really has the power to drive something home. I mean, look at the price of Celsius. I've been bullish on Celsius since it was practically nothing. And I think like the last official video I may have done, I think Celsius, I don't even remember how much it was, but it's so much higher. It's $1.52 right now. I think at one point when I was talking about Celsius, it was like 4 cents. Okay. Now, when I think fundamentally about a project, I look at projects like Celsius, and then I see something like Turnio. And I see Turnio and Turnio's Blockcard, Ian and Dan, and what they're building and what they're developing over time. And I see them in a similar situation to what is possible, what's already been proven possible with Celsius. But they don't have the necessary resources, unfortunately, in my opinion, to really kick stuff off the way Celsius has. But what they do have is the technology. What they also have is the knowledge, the experience, the integrity, and the passion for the space to continue expanding their operation. And I think that I would love to be able to log into my Blockcard account. So let me digress a minute. I love Celsius Network, but I don't use it. I don't use it because I want a desktop application. I want a desktop application that I can open and close and disconnect and shut down whenever I want without the worry of losing it. Okay? That's just that's what myself feels more comfortable using. I don't put anything of value on my cell phones. I just don't. And I have multiple. And I've told Alex, I said, when's my desktop application coming? And, he throws me like a passive time frame, which tells me it's not necessarily their focus. With Turnio, it could be. And I really want to see a marriage between these two companies because I think ultimately they could vastly help each other. And I think that Turnio could take on a role to help Celsius Network grow leaps and bounds. Think about it. If Turnio and Celsius were to establish a strong partnership, and Turnio were able to fill some of the gaps that Celsius is not necessarily focused on right now and provide some of this service and empower people to stake their cryptocurrencies for interest yield and then have the ability to spend that interest yield through a Visa card, boom, 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 fireworks everywhere. And this is really what I want to see happen. What's taken so long? Alex, I'm calling out to you, man. Get a couple people on your team, sit down with Turnio, work this shit out, dude, because this would be huge for both of you. And when you talk about, and no offense to you, Alex, no offense to Celsius Network at all, I love all of you. Everybody I talk to on the team, I love you. But when you want to talk about unbank yourself and you have an opportunity to work with a smaller group who has the means and the capabilities of really establishing a partnership that could drive both of your projects home, both of which headed up by people that I trust and that I genuinely like for multiple reasons, gotta make it work. Gotta make it work because I see the two of you guys working together and expanding so much, and I want to see it happen. If I haven't made this clear, I really want to see this happen because I think it would be a ginormous boon to both of you. So please sit down, please work it out. I'll do anything I can to help facilitate it. I'll do whatever I can. I'm saying this all publicly right now. I want this partnership to happen, and I will help any way I can. And that's basically the gist of that. I've probably lost everybody. No, okay, well we're good. I just really wanted to get that out because I think it's absolutely. I think it's insanely, it's a big deal. It's a big deal, man. And it's like when I've got two companies that I genuinely love and I just like everything they're doing, I really just want to see these companies work together because in this space, the way it is right now, this And the way the country is right now, the divide, it's like we need more unity, man. We need more people working together. We need one guy lifting up the other who lifts up another. And we need to start seeing that chain. We need to start working together to continue building our use case, our adoption, our ability to educate and empower the people. And that to me is what this crypto stuff is all about. And I feel like we need this kind of shit more now than ever. And it's got to start happening. It's got to start happening. And, I get approached by so many different crypto companies, so many different people all the time. And a lot of these guys, I just feel like are cash grabbing. You know what I mean? Everybody's kind of cash grabbing. I'm even cash grabbing in my own ways. I've got bills to pay. I've got a life that I want to live. I work all the damn time. So I've got like a membership account. I've got my Subscribe Star that I'm launching to try and like just build a community. And like, I've got my Bitcoin ATMs are going to be showing up here soon. I've got like just everything I'm doing. I'm not really cash grabbing. I'm working. I'm grinding to some extent. But it's like, I'm so sick and tired of divide. I'm so sick and tired of greed and corruption and just all of the bullshit associated with life today. And I feel like it's so unnecessary. It's so unnecessary. Like this political election is so bent and so broken. The way the major news media works, the way social media has jumped on this tyrannical effort to control the populace and everything we say. The fact that every time I go live or I do anything that is going to reach anybody publicly, I'm fearful that somehow my livelihood is going to be at risk because of it. Where is our freedom? Where the fuck is our freedom? Like, I don't understand. Where is it going? What is happening? And it's like, I sit back sometimes. I lost so much sleep over the last couple of days. I feel completely exhausted. And there's just no real reason for any of this other than we're ignoring the very idea that as a community, as a society, we thrive better together, not divided. And that alone should tell you the reason why we're constantly being divided. And it's like, when you have people of like mind, focused on similar goals, with the integrity and the passion and the drive to try and change the world and make everything better for everybody possible, work together, figure out a fucking way. I don't care. I don't care if it's not necessarily your focus right now. Put some resources into it and make it happen. And I don't just mean that between like Celsius and Turnio. I'm talking about all crypto projects, man. We are much more strong working together and figuring out common ground to grow from. Not trying to just dominate a market, not just, oh god, sometimes I just want to fight. I just want to fight sometimes. I really do. I want to fight. I want to fight so many people right now. I'm tired of the anxiety. I'm tired of logging into Facebook and just being disgusted with the lies and the bullshit and just the constant manipulation. I'm tired of looking at all these politicians and just seeing their lizard skin every time they open their mouths. I'm fed up. I'm fed up. And I feel like because I'm so fed up, I so desperately want to try and make changes, but I don't have the power alone. The only power I feel like I have is maybe educating people who may sometime, I'm 42, man. My birthday's this month. I'm another year older. And it's like, I don't even know if I've met my midlife crisis yet or not. I don't know if I don't know. It's like I'm a Great Dane. I don't know how much time I got. I don't feel like I've really done a whole hell of a lot with it yet. And I feel like I'm trying to figure out ways to like use what I've built on YouTube and in the crypto space to just generate revenue streams that are going to help my family even long after I'm gone. I want to try and play a role in, bringing companies together so I can feel like I've done something. And, when so many people, I feel everybody takes like the cheap route, the easy route. Everybody's looking for an angle or something. And I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm burnt out, folks. I am. I'm burnt out and I'm frustrated, and I'm so tired of seeing everything the way it is, and it's truly puzzling to me why. I don't know. Let me look at chat's not very active today, so whatever happened to all that evidence that Biden, Hillary, and Obama covered up the Osama killing in Iran? That video you shared on Twitter was epic a couple weeks back. What do you think, man? Everything's getting suppressed. Look at all the stuff about Biden's son. Man, I have seen stuff recently about Biden's son that I'm sure if I even talked about it in detail, I'd get shut down and censored, and everything's being suppressed. And that's the thing that's so disgusting. It's greed and power and control, and one group helping the other for it's like I feel like I'm in the movie V, like and maybe even worse. And it just doesn't seem real. None of this stuff seems real, and I guess I'm grasping at straws and trying to figure out how can we establish more unity, man? How can we establish more, like, just groups working together for a common positive ground to empower the public? And I feel like for every effort there is to try and empower the people to like better their lives, there are 10 different efforts trying to suppress them and hold us all down. And I'm honestly, I'm like shocked and blown away by how many stupid people there are in this country. I really am. I'm shocked and blown away by the number of people who simply cannot think for themselves. And it's just scary. It's just scary. I'm frustrated as well, all in good time for Ada for voting on the blockchain. I hope so. But, the fact of the matter is, man, I feel like in order for our political system in this country to change, there's going to have to be... I can't even say it. That's the thing. I can't even speak my mind. I can't even share my full, real opinion. Because I feel very strongly that if I did, I would be punished for it. I'd be flogged or like banned or shadow banned or whatever. It's like there's just no freedom of speech. Like every day I feel like more and more people are losing their right to free speech, and nobody's doing anything about it. And I'm like, what the hell is happening? What is happening? This election is like so close. I still don't know if anything's been announced. Any winners have been announced. I still don't know what's happening, but I'm absolutely shocked by what is happening. And I just think that like I said, I just think the whole thing's a farce. I think it's all a farce. This is absolutely a show being put on for us. Coke or Pepsi. Amen. Amen. Greed and money. Absolutely. If we remain in this space, we will become the ruling elite of the future. It's nice to think that, but that'll never be the case. That'll never be the case. The systems that are in place today have been established over centuries, man. And we could have 1 million new millionaires in the country tomorrow, and it's not going to change a thing. And it's such a deep rabbit hole. It really is. It's such a deep rabbit hole. And I used to think that I was going to be someone who could like really make some drastic change. But like the older I get and the longer things take, I don't know, man. I don't know. I still 42 years old. I still don't know what my purpose is. I'm constantly searching, but I still don't know what my purpose is. But I know it's really starting to get painful. How does Celsius compare to Blockcard for earning? Well, Celsius enables you to earn by staking a variety of different cryptocurrencies. It's not just one. Turnio is primarily focused around Turnio, but it's not about Turnio. Turnio, and one of the reasons why I like Turnio so much A, is because of the people who run it, and B, because they're slowly but surely adding to their use case for Turnio. Turnio is ultimately, I think, at some point in the future, you're not even going to realize you're using or that Turnio is a part of anything. You know, like you will, but I almost kind of consider Turnio being like the electricity that flows through the wires in your house. You might see the wires, but you don't really know what's in it. I just think that right now they're still a small company, but they're making some huge headway. You know, and so I want to be able to use Celsius Network and take my earnings and spend them if I want directly from my debit card. And it's such a perfect marriage to me. It really is. It's such a perfect marriage. And the fact that I want a desktop application that enables me to do all of the staking and the earning and all of that stuff. If I could control everything from one central hub, one central desktop application, and I know it's a lot more difficult to create an actual desktop application than a web-based application, because it's a lot more difficult to protect end users from viruses and malware and things that are likely on their computer than it is. But at the same time, I don't want a centralized server containing everybody's stuff either, because then it becomes one of the biggest hacker targets out there. So it's really difficult. And honestly, I think that's one of the things that's been holding Celsius back, because I'm guessing, I have no idea, and I could be completely wrong, but with the number of hacks that happen, even in some of the world's biggest exchanges, there's always some hacker out there that's able to figure something out. I mean, who wants that liability? So I don't know. I know there's a way for Turnio and Celsius to work together, and I want to see it happen sooner than later. I really do. It's money in politics. Doesn't matter if you are Republican or Democrat. Money talks and controls the narrative. That's very true. Very true. Bitcoin going to hand over America to Chinese. Oh, Biden. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that he's got so many Chinese relationships, and oh my gosh, the stuff I've heard about his son, and like Mulan, the lead, the actress in Mulan, who's beautiful. I've never seen the movie, but what I'm hearing about her is like shocking. Other politicians' daughters. I mean, just a lot of stuff, and I'm blown away by how little, like the major media, they don't want to support any of that. They don't want to put any out there because it's too damning, and anybody that dives into any of that stuff just gets censored. I mean, it's all controlled. Everything is controlled. It's disgusting, and it's only getting worse. I saw a debate between Reagan and Carter. It was identical to Trump versus Biden. Same issues, not solutions. Well, this whole election is not about issues. I don't think any part of this election is really about the issues, because anytime I see Trump haters, they're just making up whatever and throwing it. It's like a angry mob throwing tomatoes at somebody who, you know, one group says is guilty of something, but they don't really know, and it's all nonsense. And, you know, that's why I've said I've talked about it on Facebook a little bit and different things. It's like, I'm not even a Trump supporter, but I'm so opposed to the way this election has been controlled, and just the way the media and social media and major media and institutional media and all of that, just the way they're all controlling the narrative so much. They've learned a lot in the last 4 years, because 4 years ago they were doing their normal stuff, but they've cranked everything to 20 this election. And it seems that it might be working. And, you know, it's the very, oh gosh, I just don't even want to get into it again. I just don't. It's draining. It's so draining, and it's disgusting. Knew you would show up on 14K. It wasn't planned. I was already planning on going live today for a little while. Is there anybody who believes in XRP above $3 or at least $2.50 in the next weeks? In the next weeks? No, it's not happening in the next weeks. That's insanity. But you need that worldwide. XRP won't reach those prices for over a year yet. Wow, Jason for president, period. You know, I always joke about the fact that if I were to ever run for president, I'd probably be like the next one shot. You just don't get to those levels unless you're willing to play some kind of corrupt ball. And I know me. It's like in 42 years, I feel like if you haven't sold your soul in 42 years and by midlife, I don't think you're going to, and you're not going to do it for politics either. And I also don't really believe in the whole you got to crack a few eggs to make an omelet kind of bullshit. I don't know if I would really be a good president. I think I'd be overly emotional about some issues that would require a clearer head. Because I'm super emotional. I am, and I try to hide it on this channel sometimes. I don't know why. It's been this thing where, you know, I feel like sometimes I get really stressed out and I get really down, and then I try to discuss it on this channel, and then I feel kind of embarrassed, and I feel I'm just really sick of everything I'm seeing. I'm really just sick of everything I'm seeing, and I don't think I would last long as a president. And on top of that, you know, I'm a human, man. I mean, I'm not perfect. I've got a terrible traffic history when I was young. I mean, hell, when I first got my license, and a lot of it wasn't even my fault, to be quite frank, and a lot of it was all dismissed and thrown out and all that. But I mean, you know, I think I've got an assault. I punched a guy. Absolutely deserved it, though. I mean, it's just like, you know, I don't know. I like living my life. I like being me. I don't know. I feel like to become president, I don't know. It would never happen. It's not even worth really thinking about. It would just never happen. Crow, if you are married, then you have sold your soul. No, I think by me getting married, I actually grew a bigger one. You know, my wife and I are partners. Oh, hey, Melanie. Thank you, hon. My wife makes me a better man for sure. My wife makes me a better father for sure. You know, I grew up in kind of a not a cold, like my mom and I have never been like super affectionate. You know, a single mom raising a little asshole of a son, you know, I'm sure that played a toll on her. You know, I was just a very arrogant, I was intelligent as a kid. I'm not nearly as intelligent today. You know, those brain cells just get fried with all those chemtrails. I'm kidding. But my wife makes me better. I mean, all the way around. She's reined me in. When we first met, I was much more angry, much more emotional, kind of, you know, I was all in that. Like I was getting out of mixed martial arts when I met my wife. And, you know, I think her first fight show was the one I fought in. And honestly, a lot of that was about just like, I don't know. I love my wife. My wife treats me like a man. She's never nagged me. My wife has never. My wife takes it upon herself to fill in all the gaps that I leave behind, and I try to do the same for her. We have our strengths. We have our weaknesses. Sometimes we bump heads, but we always love each other, and I'm always grateful for my wife, and I'm grateful for the mother she is to all of our kids. She always has a clear head. She always has a very kind of controlled way of handling situations. I'm the emotional one. I'm the like, rah, you know, I get, she gets frustrated sometimes too, but no, man, I didn't sell my soul when I got married. I gained another one and grew mine, honest to God. Just found this channel, been enjoying it. Thanks for putting out great content. Well, thank you, Paul. I appreciate that, man. Today's kind of a random thing. You know, I've been rambling a lot today. Not all that entertaining as you kind of close out, but watching Bitcoin's price go up, it's kind of petering out. It'll probably drop back down here at some point. It looks like its volume is dropping. It'll probably turn around. We'll get maybe a 13.8. Come back down to 13.8, and then maybe the next time we cross over 14 grand, we'll be there for good. We'll see. Look, guys, I'm going to sign off. Thanks for joining me. And I definitely have some good stuff, planned for the near future. So I'll see you guys soon. Have a good one.